Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to Into the Flu. My name is Mona Morsi. I am your host. And in this series, we're going to talk about the old school Harry Potter merchandise, the games, the action figures, the toys, everything about it. And in this particular episode, I'm going to introduce to all of you the Harry Potter trading card game that was around in the early 2000s. Some people know about it, some people don't. And so we're going to dive into it right now. So for those of you who might know about Magic the Gathering, the same creators of Magic the Gathering, which is Wizards of the Coast, are the ones that created the Harry Potter TCG. So they're the ones that printed it, so you know the quality is there, the art is there, so you know it's a good quality product. In August of 2001, the Harry Potter TCG was printed. There are 5 expansions of the Harry Potter TCG, which means there are 5 different boxes that are separately themed within the Harry Potter universe. So the first box is Base Set Booster Box. Some of you might recognize the art on this box. This art was pretty popular in the early 2000s. It was on calendars, puzzles, books, pretty much everything that was printed Harry Potter. It's also got the famous trio plus Neville in there on their boat on the way to the castle. In each box, there's 36 booster packs. The booster packs for this box look like this. This is the same art that you'll find on the box. That's Harry there with the sorting hat. And then we have good old Hedwig. So these 3 booster packs that come in the booster box are called an art set. So for those of you that collect trading cards like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But these right here are 20 years old. So you won't be able to find these in your average shop because they're no longer in print. Wizards of the Coast was forced to stop printing the game in 2003. So now we're all sad. The second box that was printed by Wizards of the Coast is the Quidditch Cup booster box. This was printed in November of 2001. So we had the base set that was in August of 2001. Quidditch Cup was November of 2001. And I'm going to break down the different types of cards that you'll find in each one of these booster boxes. So you won't really know perhaps what I'm talking about right now. But the cool thing about the Quidditch Cup is that it introduced matches. And so I'll get to that in a moment. So the 36 booster packs that are inside of the booster box are divided into 3 different pieces of art the same way as the base set. So this is what they look like. We've got the Nimbus 2000. As the second piece of art, we've got one of the hoops. And the last art, of course, is the Golden Snitch. So these are pretty cool because they're like that metallic type color. The art on them are, of course, magical and amazing. The third box that was printed by Wizards of the Coast for the Harry Potter TCG is the Diagon Alley box. This is the Diagon Alley box, which the art, of course, is absolutely beautiful on all of them. The detail is just amazing. And in each one of these boxes, like I mentioned, you've got 36 booster packs with 3 variations of art. So the art for these look like, this is the first where you've got Hedwig in a cage. The second, which looks like a pile of books. And the third is a cauldron. So the cool thing about the Diagon Alley sets are that they introduced locations. And again, you might not know what I mean by that, but we'll get to that in just a moment. The 4th expansion that was released is called the Adventures at Hogwarts booster box. So this is what the Adventures at Hogwarts box looks like. And the 3 art variations for Adventures at Hogwarts are Fluffy. You can't have an adventure without meeting Fluffy, right? The Mirror of Erised. And good old Peeves. Because again, you can't have an adventure without this guy doing something to make it either worse or better or just more entertaining. The Adventures at Hogwarts box was printed in June of 2002. The last expansion that we have that was printed by Wizards of the Coast for the Harry Potter TCG is called Chamber of Secrets. So the really cool thing about these cards are that they're not reflective of the films, but more of the books. And so you won't find Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, or any of the other actors' faces on these cards, you'll find an artist's depiction of what they thought these characters would look like and what the locations would look like and how the Harry Potter universe looks according to their imagination, which is one of my favorite things about this game, as well as all the other merchandise and games that we'll find from around that time. Because for me, it's really unique to find an artist depict what a certain character or location would look like, instead of us being able to have those blanks filled in for us because we have movies. We've got all these other actors and locations that are already sort of made for us. And although that's great, and I love the movies myself, there's something different and more magical and inspiring about the art that's inside of these. So Chamber of Secrets, as we know, is the second book, and that was the beginning of these new expansions that Wizards of the Coast was creating. And so Chamber of Secrets is the last box that they ever made, but because it was the last, it's also the greatest, meaning it's the biggest box, the biggest expansion that we'll find. The very first box that I showed you guys, the base set, has 116 cards in it. If you were to collect the game and you were to collect one of each card, it has 116. The next three that I showed you, which would be Quidditch Cup, Diagon Alley, and Adventures at Hogwarts, each have 80 cards in them individually. So if you wanted to collect them, then you would go 116 for base set and then 80 cards for the remainder. The thing that makes Chamber of Secrets stand out is that it's 140 cards. So it's a lot greater than even the very first set, which was pretty big on its own. This is the Chamber of Secrets booster box. This is what it looks like. So you've got Harry there with the sword of Gryffindor, Chamber of Secrets. We've got Dobby for our first variation of art on the booster packs, a Mandrake, and Gilderoy Lockhart. So as I mentioned, the Chamber of Secrets set was the very last set. It was first printed in 2002 and last released in 2003, which was when they completely ceased all production of the Harry Potter trading card game. So you'll only be able to find the 5 booster boxes that I introduced to you with the various art sets that come within each box. So of course, as a collector and as a player myself, I love both aspects of the game. You can collect the cards, like I mentioned, but the best part about the game is just playing. So what you would do is build a 60 card deck with one starting character, creating 61 cards, and you would play against your opponent. And so there are various types of cards, over 500 different types of cards that you can have to build different decks. So in order for you to build a proper deck, you have to be able to have lessons, because you can't play certain cards that are worth playing without lessons. And so essentially what that means is you can't use the knowledge of a spell if you haven't had the class to go to learn it, right? Which is one of the great things about the flavor in the Harry Potter trading card game, is that it really all comes to mind. Like if you're gonna play a Quidditch deck, for example, you're gonna have to have some Quidditch matches in that deck, right? Because that's essentially what Quidditch is. They're all brutal cards, and they're all for these matches that you would have against someone else, Gryffindor or Ravenclaw, or you against somebody, right? And so that's really sort of where a lot of the flavor and imagination comes from, which is one of the things that I think is so dope about the game. So this is what the lessons look like. This is a Care of Magical Creatures lesson, Quidditch lesson, Potions lesson, Transfiguration lesson, Charms lesson. The different cards that you could use to build your deck are creature cards, spells, items, locations, match, adventures, characters. Now, like I mentioned, in order for you to use specific cards, you have to have lessons in order to use them. An example of that would be if you wanted to use this spell, it costs 6 Quidditch lessons. Again, that's a Quidditch lesson. So there are many ways that you can go about building your deck, which we can get into in a different episode, but I just wanted to introduce the Harry Potter trading card game to all of you, the beautiful art that is involved, the flavor that is involved in the cards, and the art sets that have taken so much time, so much imagination by various artists to create. The Harry Potter TCG, although it is out of print and it's considered a dead game, it's still widely popular today and has gained popularity throughout these past couple years. People have really tried to get into the game to collect, but also to play. So if you guys are interested in that, then please stay tuned, because we're going to have some more information on how to build a deck, how to get involved, and how to play the game. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Stay safe.